Is India about to recognize silver as a monetary metal? We'll try to answer that question and also address another shocking rule that they are putting in place with regards to the ratio of gold to silver. Let's discuss it as we explore. The answer to that question really is a matter of semantics. It just depends on your interpretation of the news. One interpretation of the news comes to us from Substack, the Silver Academy, and their answer is a definite yes, based off the headline that they have. We're going to get into that in a moment. Summit Metals, the channel sponsor, is a great company with excellent customer service and fast shipping, and a wider range of products that they have on their website of gold, silver, and now platinum. So check them out by clicking on the link in the description below. Now, the headline from the Substack, from the Silver Academy, is quite intriguing, but here's what the forward says. India's bold move to recognize silver as banking collateral at a, wait for it, 10-to-1 gold to silver ratio catapults silver into the monetary spotlight. So they're saying that because of this rule, that 10-to-1 gold to silver ratio, that automatically makes silver a monetary metal. That's a little bit of a stretch, but I think I understand their line of thinking on this. They say reshaping global finance and fueling the next era of silver-backed lending, credit access, and industrial expansion. India's bold financial reforms, which will be effective in April of next year, are set to propel silver into a powerful new era, they say, not just an industrial workhorse, but as a formalized monetary metal anchoring the banking sector. The Reserve Bank of India's unified gold and silver loan rules mark a paradigm shift and intensify the global rush towards silver-backed banking with bullish implications for investors and industrial users alike. Again, an interpretation of the news. One of the pieces that they show on their site is not even really a link, it's just a screenshot, but I found the original source from the New India Express. This piece goes back to the 8th of June, 2025, and this is really the hard news on this. It gives us a little bit of insight as to what they're talking about here. The Reserve Bank of India has raised the loan-to-value ratio for loan against gold and silver to 85% for loans. This is part of the RBI's new comprehensive set of rules for lending against gold and now silver. The new rules, which will be effective from the 1st of April 2026, attempts to standardize and harmonize the existing guidelines and introduce new measures for better oversight, conduct, and consumer protection. So here is how this works. The new rules apply to all commercial banks, primary and rural cooperative banks, and all non-banking financial companies, including housing finance companies, which will cover loans for both consumption and income generation purposes where eligible gold and silver collateral is accepted. Lenders are required to have a clear credit policy that should stipulate limits for single borrower as well as for aggregate portfolio and maximum loan-to-value ratios. The policy must also detail valuation standards for gold and silver purity norms and documentation for priority sector lending. So this is how it's being played out, folks. So it just provides these rules for both gold and silver. And that's good news. That is going to elevate silver. There's no question about it. I think even the most interpretive or the most conservative interpretation of this would lend credence to that theory. And silver is important, as we know. It is a monetary metal. We really don't need India to tell us that. That's for sure. But nonetheless, the fact that the Central Bank of India is recognizing that, putting these rules out for the commercial banks, is a good sign. And silver is a great metal and one of the most popular silver bullion coins out there. And the most popular is the Silver Eagle. Yes, indeed. That's this coin right here. And you now have a chance to win one of these Silver Eagles here. Not this one, but there is one being given away over at the Silver Forum. The Silver Forum is a United Kingdom-based organization, and it has been around for a long time, over 10 years now, and it is a growing community here with over 23,000 members and 1.2 million posts. And it is really an amazing place that has grown and stayed stable. And now they're expanding for U.S. stackers. That's right. There is now a section that has been created for the United States viewers and participants. And you have a chance now to win a Silver Eagle. And the rules for that will be posted and linked down in the description below. It's amazing because the Silver Forum, it is a global forum. It's for everybody from every nation, but there's a growing number of U.S. stackers out there that are participating, so they created a separate section for them. Of course, you can post anywhere on the forum, but nonetheless, it is fascinating. So check it out and get your chance to win a Silver Eagle. That's almost $50 worth of silver right there, and with the most popular bullion coin out there. So check it out. Now, getting back to what this is, it's fascinating. Lenders will have uniform procedures for measuring the purity and net weight of gold and silver collateral. The rules require the presence of the borrower during assaying, with the deductions and defects clearly explained and documented in a certificate provided to the borrower. No loans will be given against ETFs or bullion. Lenders cannot offer loans against primary gold and silver bullion. One can pledge only up to 1 kilogram of gold ornaments and 10 kilograms of silver ornaments for a availing loan. Now think about that. What is ornaments? What does that mean? Is that bars? Is that decorative pieces of silver and gold for ornamentation around your jewelry, that type of thing? I'm not really sure exactly how that plays out or how that word is interpreted, but nonetheless, loans against coins are limited to 50 grams of gold and 500 grams for silver. So there it is. All right. The tenure for bullet repayment of consumption loans is capped at 12 months, with renewals subject to credit assessment and payment of accrued interest. So it sounds like they're setting some guidelines with the basic rule of 10 to 1. Now, does that mean that gold and silver will be valued as such? No, but it is an intriguing ratio that they choose for it. But nonetheless, the Substack is pretty bullish on this and thinks it's essentially they're saying here that India's vast middle class and rural population relied on physical gold as a foundation for household credit and emergency loans. Now silver is officially joining the ranks. Under the new regulations, up to 10 kilos of silver jewelry can be pledged per person as collateral versus just 1 kilogram of gold for personal and business loans from banks and non-banking financial companies. So very interesting. Now, some of the sources that they give for this are from an account that exists in Young Farmer, but whose postings are gone from his account. He's only got a few posts on there, and the posts that were screenshotted in the Substack piece are missing. But it's essentially it's normalized silver as a banking collateral. Is what's happening here, and framing it as a monetary benchmark that elevates silver's global status, but it stems from June 2025, and it's something that's somewhat old news, but some of these rules are effective this month, but they cap physical ornaments at 10 to 1 here, is how this being, but it'll be fully implemented in April. But it really is something that almost seems like hype to some degree, as one of the things about Russia's central bank adding silver editions, but the thing is that they're not actually storing silver bullion, and the Saudi central bank is investing in ETFs, not in actual physical bullion. So I think this necessarily maybe recognizes the silver as a valuable metal and something that's consumed, considering that India has vast jewelry holdings. And silver's industrial uses are quite profound. There's over 10,000 uses for silver out there. But it does not necessarily, I think, mean that the Central Bank of India is going to be storing a bunch of silver in their vaults. And nor do I think that Russia is either. There may be strategic stockpiles of the metals for Russia, for instance. And maybe down the road it could come for India. But I don't know that the central bank is going to hold that much silver or any silver at all. But nonetheless, does it mean that silver is now automatically going to be considered a global monetary metal? No. I think the answer to that question is pretty clear. I think to some extent it is rhetorical hype with an emphasis on the rhetoric, because how do you interpret some of this language? I think it is a matter of semantics. But I'm somewhat skeptical of the hyping of this story. But nonetheless, one thing is for sure, silver is indeed money over the long course of time, recognized in the Bible, mentioned over 400 times along with gold, and on Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. It's just as dormant money. It's commodity money, but money nonetheless. Like I said, we don't need India to tell us that. So very interesting story, and fascinating that they're tying a ratio to it. That kind of surprised me. But nonetheless, I guess it's just a matter of ordering things, and we'll see. So, but it does not mean that you will be able to trade your 10 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold anytime soon, including in India. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.